Good afternoon everybody, and a very warm welcome to Ringwood South. And firstly, I would like to take this opportunity to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. And this will probably be, or maybe, you never know, there might be another one, but then it's probably going to be more than likely the last video before Christmas. So I just wanted to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. I'm not really big on Christmas, so I'm not going to go the whole kind of hoo-ha with some of the fantastic videos that some of you guys have been putting up for the Christmas period. But needless to say, I wish all my subscribers a very Merry Christmas. Now today, I wanted to talk to you about the experience part 2. Part 1 was my 68, which you may have seen. And just to pick up on a few points of that particular video, since that last video was put up, I've been reading some of the comments and things like that, and I will be getting back to you in due course. Excuse me. And I just wanted to sort of clarify a few points. Firstly, the issue that I have isn't actually, that I had with the 68, isn't actually DCC related. The actual chip is fine, the sound file works, and it's got nothing really to do with the fact that I've gone DCC or whether I'm DC. That's not really the point. The point that I was making is the actual level of service that I received for the money I've paid for it. And that's kind of my kind of issue, and that could apply to whether or not you buy a DC loco or a DCC loco, or even whether you just buy a building or whatever. So it's actually to do with the service that I received and the attitude that I got back from DCC supplies. Now, I hesitate to say I'm glad to hear that some of you have also had issues, because I wish none of you had issues. But it's just reassuring that it's something that it's not just related to me. I'm not the only one that's had these issues with DCC supplies. This is clearly an issue that some of you have had, and have had dealings with them and had similar issues with them. So since then, so I don't want to dwell on it too much, I have actually spoken to Dappold themselves about the email that I sent and that I received. And they basically have told me that the MD has got involved in it and he is actually dealing with it. Now currently he's on holiday until the beginning of January apparently. So watch this space. There might be some more developments, there might not be, not really too sure. I have encouraged them to to watch my previous video with the 68 and to read your comments. And if any of you have had issues with DCC supplies, not the sound chips as such, but just the actual servicing, and if they've bodged anything or whatever, then whatever your experience, even if it's good, I mean, I suppose then they can just sort of see it for what it is and see it as a whole, and they say, well, look, there's more good than there is bad, or there's more bad than there is good. But at least they get to see and read what you've written on the comments. So I do encourage you to, if you have had issues, to put it not on this video. If you've had issues with them and you feel you'd like to make a comment, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, then put it on the other video, the Class 68 video that I did, because that's the video that I've highlighted to them and asked them to review and have a look at, and then they can read the comments and make judgments on what, basically, because I'm hoping that it's going to be more of a people power thing, rather than, because this particular item I'm going to show you today was a completely different level of service, and I'll get onto that, and then I can sort of then at the end sort of compare the two, as it were. So stick with me and I'm going to show you what I've actually got. So what we have today is a product that I've been eyeing up for ages, to be honest. It's been a long time that I've been looking at this. Now, I should just sort of reiterate, in case you missed the first experience video that I did, it is basically, experience video is basically, rather than me being like in a cab or anything or being out and about as that type of experience, this is my experience as a whole with the product, like from buying it, the service, the actual product itself, and all the rest of it. So that's kind of what this is about. So obviously I did the Class 68 experience on my first video. So on this video, I'm going to be talking to you about this, which is the Permanent Way Set Class 20. Now, I've been eyeing up the set for some time now. There's a number of reasons why I wanted this particular set. Basically, I was looking at this set when I was originally intending to go DCC, and I wasn't sure how to go about it, in terms of I wasn't sure what controller I was going to buy, or, you know, sound. I wanted sound, but I didn't know what loco I was going to buy, and I thought, oh, it's going to be quite expensive if you buy it all individually. And I come across this set because it just literally fitted what I wanted to a T in the beginning. It basically has, if I show you, so we've got the Class 20, which is what I wanted. So I really liked this livery and I really liked the 20, so I got that. And then you've got the Permanent Way coaches, which is something that I also wanted. So I was really pleased with that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it on pause, and then I'm going to sort of try and spin the camera around so you can actually see within the box. So bear with me 1 second. So hopefully this is going to work. My camera position. So that's the whole set. And I do love the way that Bachmann do their train packs. I have another train pack from Bachmann, and I love the way that they present it. They present it so beautifully. It really is so beautiful. And on the end there, that's what you get. You get the 20, the 2 coaches, and I think on one end it tells you. You also get on the other end, you get an oval of track, and also it says it's DCC sound. So before I got the before I was given the Elite, and I was trying to work out the ins and outs of DCC, I was really thinking about this, because this is basically a train set. And even today, I'm happy not only just with the loco and the 2 coaches, but also the actual oval of track that you get. But let me just show you inside also what you get. This is the box. Here is the sound instructions. So the 20's got sound in it. These are the sound functions along here. It hasn't got as many as my 68. And it hasn't got as many as my TTS Merchant Navy. However, it is such a cracking locomotive, and I've already had it sound. I've already tested the sound, and this is the thing. I bought this from my local, well, I say my local model shop, the model shop in Alton, where I used to live, which used to be a 5-minute drive from where I used to live. It's now 35 minutes, 40 minutes to get there. And I bought this from there, and I had the opportunity of seeing this whole pack, as it were, before I bought it. So I didn't have to wait for an internet service and wait for it to be posted to me and delivered to me to find that things are missing or broken or don't work or whatever. The service, as always, from the Alton Model Centre is second to none, and Paul is extremely friendly and extremely helpful. And as a matter of standard course, he will always test the locos as standard. So you don't have to worry about that you're going to get it home and it doesn't work. So it's very reassuring. And before I even paid any monies towards this, he took the 20 out and he basically tested it, and it worked perfectly fine, straight out of the box, no problems. So in the pack, as you can say, like I said, you get the sound instructions. You also get this, which is a DCC controller, as well as an oval track, and then you've got the power supply. You've got the power supply and the wire in here, and there's also a power clip there. Now, some might say you don't necessarily need all of this stuff now because you've got your Elite. But I actually, despite the fact that I had the Elite and I had track which I brought over from Behringer, I still wanted the controller and the power supply and the track, and basically it's to use it as a test track, and so I can leave the Elite permanently set up on the layout and I can use this for the test track, or you can just use this as a spare controller. Now sometimes things go wrong, and as you guys well know, I recently nearly messed up my Elite. Now if that was the case and I couldn't get it to work, I wouldn't be able to run any of my other sound locos. So this is kind of good as a backup. So that's why I'm pretty keen. I mean, a lot of people have got their main systems and there's no backup, and then when things go wrong, you know, sometimes it's like you can't run trains for weeks and weeks and weeks or whatever. I mean, some people do, but some people don't. So it's quite nice to have a backup. So that's why I like it. You also get the 20, which is here. I'll take it out when I put it on the little mini test track so you can hear the sound functions. You also get 2 coaches, which I also wanted. Now, this pack I have seen, as is most packs, I mean, it seems to be the norm these days. I don't particularly agree with it or like it, but it is the way of the world, where TTS locos are being broken up and taking the sound out, and then they're sold as DCC ready, even though they came with sound. And I've also seen sets like this broken up, where and it's a shame because it's a beautiful pack, but I've seen, I think it's either Rails or Hattons or something, one of those, that basically you can buy the loco separate, you can buy the coaches separate, so you can buy it all separately, and obviously they make more money off of it. And so I've seen like the coaches on their own, I think they were going for, or being sold for like something like £75 or something. I think it was something like that. The actual 20 itself, I think I saw going rails for about 140 or something like that. I could be wrong. So, you know, I like the fact, and I bought this because I liked it as a pack. So that's, and they're beautiful coaches. I mean, to be honest, I haven't actually taken the coaches out yet either. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the box, lift the actual main part of it so you can see what's underneath. So if we just remove that for a moment. So as you can see underneath, you get a load more paperwork, and then you get an oval of track. Now, like I said, you know, it's very basic. You know, I don't necessarily need it as such, but it's nice to have the, for me anyway, because I'm going to be using that track as just a test track, and whether or not I connect it up to the Elite or whether I connect it up to the Bachmann Easy Command Control Center is what they call it, is a different matter. But either way, it's just nice to have that backup. And I came away from the Auto Model Centre feeling really happy about this pack, because I got it at a cracking price. I didn't pay any postage. I knew the loco worked. The service was fantastic. And I think this is where modern society has kind of gone wrong with retail. It's like we're losing a lot of shops to internet companies and things like that, and everything's all ordered online and sent out and all the rest of it. And to a degree, I just think they kind of, and I found this a lot recently, that, you know, it almost seems like they're using us as guinea pigs to test their products, and if anything goes wrong, they just turn around and, if you're lucky, they'll turn around and say send it back. But some people kick up a fuss, like I found out. And then the other thing is, it's like, it's not always as simple as just sending it back. If you've ordered this from abroad and it's arrived to you damaged, it's not as simple as just getting in the car and just sending it back. And this is why I think it's so important that in this day and age, when things are, a lot of it is internet based, that basically they check it. And this is why I still prefer going to the actual shop itself, like the Auto Model Centre, because you've got that face-to-face contact. You can see what's been put in front of you, and if you don't like it, you just don't buy it. It's as simple as that. And if there's anything wrong with it, or you see it damaged, you've seen it damaged at the shop, you just ask for another one, or you don't buy it, or you ask for a reduction. You don't wait for a week or whatever it is to get it through the post, and then you find out it's damaged, and then you've got to go through the hassle of making the phone calls and fretting and stressing about it. So I think this is what we're missing. But hey ho, now it's time to have a look at this 20 and its coaches on the track. So I'm going to set that up, and then I'll be right back with you. So hello everybody, and we're now back on the actual, what will be the main layout. And as you can see, I've got my 20 here. The two coaches are set up here. You can see my Elite over here, and here is the sound functions for the Class 20. And I haven't actually, it should actually all work. So let's see if we can fire up. Let's make sure I've connected it all up properly. So let's see. We'll see if she'll start. Oh, we have life. So F1 is to start her up. Now it has an ESU lock sound decoder in it, and this is a standard Class 20 that comes with the pack, so it's not me having to put sound in it. So it's come straight out of the box. It's got sprung buffers. It's got a beautiful sound. I love the sound of the 20. I wasn't really a huge fan when I first started, but the 20s have really grown on me. So we're going to see what we can do here. So F2 is the horn. And then we have F3, which is apparently the front horn. We have F4, which is the brake release. But I think it does that automatically anyway when you move the loco. So let me just try moving it forward slightly. Oh, I've connected it the wrong way around, okay. Right, so obviously connected the wires the wrong way around, because back is forward and forward is back, but that, never mind. Right, so F5 is flange squeal. So that's like when you're going over the points. Okay, so that was the brake dump. I'm still trying to work out also, not as well as the sound, I'm still trying to work out the Elite and how the buttons work on the Elite. Because I think on a lot of DCC controllers, the buttons are non-latching, whereas on the Elite, I think a lot of them are latched, which means that when you press it, you have to then press it again to turn it off. Whereas on a lot of the others, I think you just press it and it will just do it, and then it will cut off. So that's what I think I'm having issues with, but it could be just me, like I said. Anywho, so where were we? F6 is coupling, so let's kind of sort of demonstrate that. It sounds ace. So, F6, which is the coupling. Now, F7 is notching up. So as you can see, it was notching up. And then we have F8, which is notching down. I think you know what that one is. I haven't quite figured out all these functions yet. Again, I'm sort of testing as I'm playing. So it's all kind of been doing sort of live, or semi-live I should say. So we've got, so that was F8. F6, that was taking the coupling off. One and, right, so F9 is the horn. Which will do that then. That's just like a little diddy horn. Now if we move on to function 10, which is I think is that one. Right, let's try that one. Got the guard's whistle. And then we have F11, which is the Spirex valve. I don't know if you can hear that, it's like a little ticking noise. So that's, and then you've got F12, which is the fan, which again I can hear the fan, I don't know if you can, but the fan and compressor are all random as well, so you don't necessarily have to use them. Now what we'll do is we'll take it along the old track, so we'll give it a little boost. I'll just bring it to a standstill and we'll bring it back. So you can hear the brake squeal, and that was completely random. So I'll just bring it back. So that's cracking. That is absolutely brilliant. I love it. Now what we'll do, it's also got various starts as well. It's got a cold start, a failed start, and it's also got a warm start. So we'll just go through that. So I'm just going to take around through functions again. And right, so we'll just shut it down. So the warm start is what you heard when I first started it up. So we're now going to go through the failed start. So if you press function 1 and to switch it on, and then you press it again to switch it off, it will come up as a failed start. So let's do that. Yeah, so that was it. And then we have a cold start, which is if you switch it on, off and on. So we'll see if we can do that. So that's the cold start. So I'm really impressed with this little loco, and I'm just impressed with the little loco. I'm impressed with what you get. I'm impressed with the train pack, and I'm just going to shut her down. Hopefully she'll shut down in a second. Maybe not. Oh, she's going to shut up. For a minute there, I didn't think she was going to shut down. Excellent stuff. I'm really pleased with this one. I really am. Like I said, I was going to buy this originally before the whole DCC thing, when I was originally thinking about doing DCC. And I'm not disappointed in it at all. Everything works as it should. It's all complete, and there's nothing broken, there's nothing missing. The sounds work. It's been tested. The service was fantastic, and it just goes to show you what a difference it makes to enjoying the railway and enjoying DCC sound, or anything really. If you get a decent level of service, it really does make a difference. Because to me, it's like, I did say this to Dapple, that my 68 was tainted by the service that I received, and when you compare what I've got here, I mean, this is fantastic. So I'm going to just quickly show you a bit closer detail the coaches and the 20. So this is 20008. Sorry, can we get that right? It's 20088 in the triple grey livery, and it is, like I said, it's a superb little loco. So you get this, and I'll just take you along the coaches so you can see the coaches, and they're proper Bachmann coaches. They're proper quality ones. They're not sort of cheap, nasty sort of end of the line stuff that they've had, like an old tooling or anything like that. They're proper, really nice coaching stock. It actually comes across more yellow on the viewfinder than it does actually in real life. It's actually more of an orangey colour in reality. And if you look further down, this is the second coach. Now I did actually buy, I've actually got a breakdown crane and another coach, so I can actually add it to this, and that's what I'm planning on doing. Now, just before we go, I'll give you a quick sort of, I will look at it this way as well so you can see this end of it. So that's the blunt end of it. So let me just take you through what I have here in terms of the layout. Basically, now before anyone asks, this is hardboard, and this is not going to be the surface that I'll be using. What it is basically these are two. If I just sort of rewind all the way back along here, it is basically 13 by 2 feet across, and what they are is basically wallpaper tables, but these are the heavy duty ones that you get, and this is a quick simple way of getting baseboards up, and I'm just using them as a base. They fold down, but like I said, I won't be using the hardboard at all. I'll be using plywood on top of this, or basically removing this and putting hard plywood on it. So this won't be the finished sort of top board. All this is, what you're seeing right now, is basically just a piece of length for track, which has got a test track on it that I can run the 20 on, and also just try and play about with a track plan. And if I happen to mess this up, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. So if I start making holes in this and all the rest of it, especially because I've got a turntable to go in this, so if I get that wrong, then it's basically just using this as a kind of guide, as a template. But this will be the main board of it. So it's 13 by 2 feet in length. And then as time progresses, this will kind of all get built up. And as you can see, there's kind of a gap either side, on the left and on the right. Now this is to kind of simulate me being at an exhibition, so this would be the back end of the layout if you sort of imagine it. So you as a viewer would be standing on that side looking in this side, and I'd be standing here. So that's why there's a gap on both sides, because I'm still sort of aiming to go down that road, and I'm just kind of trying to get it figured out in my head how it all works. But at the moment I'm just sort of test running and playing about with my locos. So this is one of them, and now I've got this piece of track up, I might get the 68 out at some point and test it on a bit of a longer piece of track as opposed to the little diddy one that I had earlier. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm wishing you all a very Merry Christmas from Ringwood South, and I'll speak to you all soon when I have another video to give you. So bye for now, and Merry Christmas to you all.